Hello, good people of the Opossum Speaks podcast, and welcome to the Opossum Speaks Season 1, Episode 5. Season 4, I recorded last Thursday, and might be uploaded unlisted, although I honestly don't know and do not remember. It was mostly, me just being rather sad, and it was kind of embarrassing, and so I thought not to upload it. It might be up, in a year or something, under, with a different thumbnail and stuff, but it is not on YouTube's yet, and if it is, it's probably unlisted. But yes, that's what happened to the Opossum Speaks number 4, and this is 5, so, it'll be 3 to 5, but I'm sure it's a gap that might be able to be lived with. And yeah, I guess the most recent thing that's been happening is I had, a pretty decent, maybe not decent, but, interesting enough idea for a story, or a short story, or novella or novel or something. I don't know. So the premise is that some sort of virus or disease, or just, everyone over 19 disappears. So yeah, people who are 20 years or older are no longer on this earth. And it's mostly about what happens in the US, and because I sort of feel like people who are younger are more kind of territorial about political things than people who are older. And so eventually civil war breaks out between people who lean left and people who lean right who are under 19 years old. And because no one really wants to see bloodshed happen, or at least people, agree among themselves to not go to complete war, a massive game of capture the flag is played to settle the ultimate national dispute over, which party or which political party is truly the dominant one. I don't know who will win, but I don't know. I think it would be cool to see, all the right-wing white boys with Blue Lives Matter bumper stickers and stuff like that, and left-wing people go to war. I don't know. I don't even know where I am on the political spectrum, but I think it would be interesting to write a book about it, or some story about it, because, I don't know, it seems like a cool premise. No one's gonna like reading it if they are politically slanted at all, but it'll be cool to write, and maybe someone will want to read it. I might put it on good, or that one website where you can put stories and people will read them. It's not called Goodreads. It's called something else. It's their logo is a lightning bulb or something. That website, and I could put it there and people might be able to read it or something. But it's still very far off. I haven't even started it yet, and I don't know a lot about what the characters will be. One of the characters will be a guy who used to be homeschooled and lives in the Cascades and is completely cut off once his parents disappear. And another character, I don't know, man, it'll be interesting enough, but I might not actually go through with it, because the more I think about it, the more of a shit idea the actual main story seems, because, no one really, wants to have their political opinions be talked about in that way. It's just a general touchy subject to say, oh, hey, what if we went to Civil War again? Because no one really liked the last Civil War, I don't think. But yeah, another thing that's been happening is, I don't know, there's been one person who has left me undelivered for 10 days, and only recently unfollowed me on Twitter, which meant they had to click 2 buttons, which, I don't know, kind of hurts more than it should. But I don't know, I guess I'll live with it. It is a sign that they're alive, for sure, that they have unfollowed me on Twitter. So I think that's a better sign than some other things might be of their livelihood. But, I don't know, what else has been happening? Mostly it's just those 2 things. I also got a haircut on a Wednesday, which is 2 days ago, and it hasn't been bad. It's kind of short. My hair used to be down to my shoulders, and now it is, I don't know, a little bit to my neck, which is, fine. It was pretty darn due to get cut, but I don't know, it's kind of hard to keep it behind my ears now, and I've been wearing a hair clip that I just kind of put there, and it stays there, but it's very large, and I'm not sure people at school would be a very big fan of it. So I think I'll just wear it around the house for now. And if I ever go anywhere, I'll just take it off and then put it back on when I get back inside. Because having to constantly brush it out of my face is kind of, I don't know, annoying. And it would be quite nice to not have to do that. And that's why the hairpin is there. But there's also like hair products and everything else. But oh my goodness, fucking gracious! You can hear that, can't you? I guess you couldn't. The dog was barking, and it wasn't audible. But I could hear it. But I guess you couldn't. But yes, what else is there to say? There was a whole lot else happening, at least between when I recorded episode 4, which was okay. I can tell you about what I sort of said on episode 4. The main thing that happened that kind of kicked off all the bad things was that the bowl of a Special K that I poured myself in the morning on Thursday it didn't have any red berries, which the thing about Special K red berries is that when you pour it in, you're kind of like signing a deal with the devil to allow yourself red berries. And if there aren't red berries, it kind of destroys the point of having Special K, because it's just like raisin bran with no raisins, or like anything bran without anything. And it's just flakes without like this frost. It's just flakes, and it's the most boring thing ever. There's actually a Kellogg's cereal, but it doesn't sell. It's called Corn Flakes. And I was already having a really shitty morning, and those Special K lack of red berries made me like shed a few tears, and then I pulled myself together because it's kind of petty to be sobbing over Special K. But and then I went to school, and the day wasn't even a whole lot better, and Friday wasn't either. And Monday wasn't either, and Tuesday wasn't either, but Wednesday was actually decent because it was a half day, and we did nothing in any of our classes except for math, which we actually like sat down and learned stuff in, which was pretty funny, because I mean, out of all the classes, I didn't doubt that we'd learn things in math, because our teacher is like an enigma. Actually, I don't really know what else to say. Everyone who has him either like feels indifferently towards him, or likes him, or just doesn't really like him. Like, no one hates him, no one really likes him. He's just kind of an ed teacher. I don't even see him out of his room. I think he like goes between his room and the bathroom like once or twice a day, and that's it. He just kind of lives in his room. I wouldn't be surprised if he had like a bed in the closet. But for all I know, that he just lives in that room on the first floor of the wing of our school that was added on in like 2000. But yes, he's kind of a drab guy, and the exact kind of guy to be teaching class on a half day where all of the classes are 20 minutes. And he really did that. He sat us all down and would say, all right, folks, we're going to learn something. And then he taught us about how even-numbered functions, or like even-numbered exponent functions, make a U shape, and odd-numbered exponents make an S shape. And he talked about that for 20 minutes. I don't know how he does it. That's why he's an enigma. He impresses all of us with his talents. But yeah, Wednesday was pretty darn solid. There was, holy shit, in my Spanish class, there's actually someone else who doesn't mind origami. And it's crazy, because she was like making a dragon, and we talked about it for a bit, and it was insane. And she like just uses sticky notes for all of the stuff that she makes. And I don't know, she's in like 2 of my classes, and I didn't know she was that cool until Wednesday. And I should like get her phone number and start talking to her more, because I don't know, she likes origami, holy shit. But yeah, I think she's also the sister of someone on the cross-country team who has red leg hair. She probably also has red leg hair, because she too is a ginger. But it's not like I'll ask either of the siblings that, because that's kind of a weird question. But I mean, if I asked the guy who's on cross country, he'll probably say, well, yeah, I do have red leg hair because you can see it, or something. But the guy from cross country is also the person that I mentioned a few episodes ago, probably. The guy who stutters a little bit, and then I talked to some more, and he's actually like a really nice guy, who I have quite a bit of respect for, and a pretty darn good runner. I don't know, I should just talk to some more people in general. Like, the thing about Wednesday was that, like, you couldn't talk with anyone, because everyone was either like, or I mean, everyone was either like on their phones playing Clash Royale or Retro Bowl, and those are the two things. I mean, there were like some people probably like on their phones, maybe looking at like Instagram or Twitter or something, but there weren't a lot of people, or I don't know. The main thing was like all the boys who I saw were just doing that. Like, I don't know, man, it's the last day of school before break. You gotta like play, you gotta do something other than, grind to Challenger 3 in Clash Royale or even Challenger 1. I'm not even in Arena 4 yet. I should pump up my numbers. I'm on like a 5-game losing streak, and I'm beginning to question whether my deck is good. But, I don't know. Like, there's many more important things to do than I play Clash Royale during a half day when it's like the last time you might see people for 5 days. I don't know. I also think it's like weird how I get along a little bit better with girls than boys. I think I'm like second guessing myself, but like I don't know. I think I can be like very very honest with girls somehow, and boys I don't know, man. It's that. Well, I think I'm just saying that because in 2 of my classes I'm with both the most boring group of 3 boys and the most like annoying group of 3 boys, because they make my life very hard to live for an hour and 30 minutes, except for one guy who's sitting next to me who like draws a little bit. He's not a bad guy. But the 2 guys, specifically the one guy whose hair looks like a loaf of bread that I might have mentioned previously, he's a nuisance and a half, and if I could, I would like either, I don't know, tear all the skin off of him or myself to put either one of us out of our misery during that class. But I don't know. It's just something that I've noticed. But I'm probably second guessing myself because I do have a pretty darn nice friend group composed of guys, and they're very darn nice. But I think I'm just like, I think I just sit next to all the wrong people in my classes, aside from the people that I do like sitting next to in like, I think 3 of my classes. I don't know. There's a few people that I don't mind talking to. I'm just glad that like I chose a good seat in AP World, because we haven't changed seats yet there, and it's been like, more than a quarter. And I wouldn't complain if we never changed seats, because I kind of like my table mates. But I wouldn't complain if we did change seats, because it would be interesting to sit with different people other than those 3 people. I don't know. This all seems very petty when like you zoom out and you go, man, this guy who's in high school is complaining about things that will never affect him for the rest of, I mean, maybe, I don't know, there's a few things, but like there's, the other 2 years of high school that I have ahead of me, or like the 2 3/4 that I have ahead of me, and then there's all of college and all of my working life, and then all of my retirement, and then like that little period where I'm in a hospital waiting to die. All that's ahead of me, and I'm very excited for it, because it means that, well, I don't know, I have a whole life to live. But yeah, I don't know. I think for now it's pretty suitable to just be a high schooler complaining about things, because that's really all I can do. I don't really have a lot else to suggest. I don't know. I also hung up a sign. Oh, shoot. So I have these magnets on my desk and a pair of scissors. Never mind. I just pulled them apart. A pair of scissors got, like, stuck to them. But I hung a sign on my desk that says in very large letters, "People are not obligated to respond to texts. Take a fucking chill pill and go eat an orange or something." Because I send people stuff and then they don't respond for, like, days. And then I get a little bit worried about them and myself. And then eventually they do respond. But I think that it's good to remind myself of that. Because I don't know, I think it'll make me a lot less insane if I just read that instead of panicking or something. But I don't know, if people just don't respond, I really cannot tell, because I mean, maybe it'll be like 2 weeks, maybe 2 years, maybe 2 months, who knows. But I don't know. I used to talk with like a few people, and then they stopped talking to me over text, and now I'm no longer talking with them. But yeah, I don't know, man. It was like pretty hard to no longer have those contacts for like 3 days, and then eventually I got used to it. But you know, I don't know. I guess there are quite a bit of people that still do not mind my presence, and I sure hope those people still do not mind my presence. But it is kind of hard to tell if they just haven't been responding for a very long time. I should stop speaking about this in case they're listening or something, because then they'll think poorly of me. Um, but yeah, oh yeah, yesterday was also Thanksgiving, which is a world-renowned holiday where people cook turkey and other such things and eat it. And it wasn't a bad holiday. My grandfather is came over and has been over since like Wednesday night. He's a pretty darn nice person. He, I don't know. He has a certain like way of going about things, and he talks over people sometimes in conversations. But other than that, he's a pretty good human being. And my grandmother on my father's side also came over for Thanksgiving, just the night, and she's also a pretty darn good human being. Um, I don't know. There's not a whole lot else to say about some of my grandparents, other than I'm just very glad that they're alive, because some people do not have grandparents that are alive, and I do. I also used to have like one great grandparent that was alive, but then she died in like 2015. But yeah, uh, Thanksgiving wasn't bad because we had turkey and stuffing and gravy and mashed potatoes and yams and all those things, and it was generally pretty tasty. And we still have leftovers, and that's pretty much how Thanksgiving is every year. And I don't really know why I'm recounting it, because anyone with a brain and a pulse can make assumptions about Thanksgiving, and they can be more or less like 70% right, because Thanksgiving, I think it's like the people that make it rather than the food, and it's the conversation that makes it rather than like just how it's set up. Because in my family, it's nearly the same every year, but it's just the things that are different is that the people that are there is different, and the conversations that we have are different, which I think is a respectable quality. It's nice to have some sort of continuity between years. Uh, I don't know. I, yeah. I've also been thinking about how absolutely useless couch pillows are. Or not like the ones that you lean on, the ones that like take up space and are square, and you can throw off of the couch and you wouldn't mind it because they're just there. Like there's the couch frame, which is hard, and then there's the first set of couch pillows, which are like the same colored as the couch frame, which are fine, and some of them you can't even detach off of couches. But the ones that I'm talking about are the pillows that like go on top of the couch pillows that you can throw off, and everyone does because they're absolutely fucking useless. They end up on the floor all the time, and they don't contribute to your comfort. They just contribute to how the couch looks. And couches aren't really meant for looking at, they're meant for fucking sitting on, because that's what people do on couches. You don't look at couches, you sit on them. And if pillows are meant to make couches more cozy, then they shouldn't, because what pillows do is make couches less cozy. This is like what I've been philosophizing about for a few hours now. Like, pillows serve no purpose other than to make the couch more cozy to sit on, but when you sit on it, they make it less cozy, and I think it's just an abomination. I mean, blankets are fine because they actually are cozy. Pillows just aren't. I mean, some kind of pillows are, like bed pillows that you need to sleep, but there's just the pillows that go on couches. They just end up getting thrown off, and no one likes them. And people like looking at them, but no one likes sitting on. And I think it's just such a weird concept that like we expect pillows to be on couches, but then the second we feel like, blessing the couches with our asses presence, we throw the pillows off. I just think it's a strange relationship. I should stop talking, shouldn't I? Well, I'll see everyone on the Opossum Speaks Season 1, Episode 6. I almost said 5, because I forgot this was 5, because my head was still, oh yeah, last one was 3. No, last one was 4, but it's not out. Goodbye.